Currently in the world, there are about 2 million species which have been discovered and formally studied and described. However, that number is constantly changing, and scientists estimate that there could be anywhere between 5 million and 30 million species. With so many different species, it's incredibly difficult to keep track of them all. For millennia, scientists have looked for ways to classify all of these species. As a result, many different systems have grown. In 1969, the kingdom system was created. This divided all organisms into 5 major groups, or kingdoms. These groups were Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista, and Monera, also known as Prokaryota. Animalia, in technical terms, refers to all organisms that are heterotrophic, meaning they must get energy from ingestion, as opposed to making it themselves, and are multicellular. As you might have guessed, we fall under the Animalia category. Plantae are, as the name shows, plants. They are autotrophic, meaning they make their own food. They are multicellular, and they all contain certain structural qualities, such as chloroplasts and a cell wall. Examples include roses and trees. Fungi, including mushrooms and mold, are decomposers. That is, they gain their energy by breaking down nutrients from dead and rotting material. Their walls are made of chitin, rather than the cellulose walls of plants, and most of their functions, such as respiration and excretion, happen via diffusion. Protista are all single-celled organisms, such as euglena and amoebas. However, while they are much simpler than the previous 3 kingdoms, they are much more complex than prokaryotes, which will be mentioned later. They tend to be parasitic and usually operate through diffusion. Monera, also known as prokaryotes or bacteria, are the simplest of the classifications. These are composed of only a few, usually small segments of DNA, compared to the other kingdoms, a few intercellular components, and an outer membrane. Examples include E. coli, which are a common type of bacteria found in our intestines, or Streptococcus, which causes strep throat in humans. In the 1990s, the kingdom system began experiencing problems. Errors in classification arose as more species were discovered and redundancies began to come up. So, the domain system was introduced. This system is primarily based on differences in ribosomal RNA structure, and is composed of only 3 groups, or domains. These include archaea, bacteria, and eukarya. Bacteria are the common prokaryotes that are found everywhere there is life. These are the organisms which cause disease, aid multicellular organisms, and other many essential things. They are also the most abundant organisms, with over 15,000 species living just in the sea alone, are prokaryotic, meaning they lack a nucleus in other organelles. Their differences and unique qualities separate them from being both bacteria and from being eukaryotes. Examples include Pyrococcus furiosus, which has an optimal growth temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, and Pyrolobus fumari, which was first discovered in 1997 in a hydrothermally heated black smoker wall along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Eukaryotes are the most familiar to most people. This group is composed of all organisms, both unicellular and multicellular, which contain a membrane-bound nuclei and other organelles which archaea and bacteria do not possess. These are generally thought to be the most complex organisms, but many species of eukaryotes are very simple as well. Examples include animals, such as bears and snakes, plants, like trees, and single-celled organisms such as paramecia. Recently, there have been updates on the system, which merges the 5-kingdom system with the 3-domain system. But that is a discussion for another time. This concludes my introduction on the class system. Thanks for listening.